To a reasonable creature, that alone is unsupportable, which is unreasonable, but everything reasonable may be supported. If you would be a good reader, read. If a writer, write. Appearances to the mind are of four kinds. Things either are what they appear to be, or they neither are, nor appear to be, or they are, and do not appear to be, or they are not, and yet appear to be. Rightly to aim in all these cases is the wise man's task. Exceed due measure, and the most delightful things become the least delightful. If the room is smoky, if only moderately, I will stay. If there is too much smoke, I will go. Remember this. Keep a firm hold on it. The door is always open. Since it is reason which shapes and regulates all other things, it ought not itself to be left in disorder. Any one thing in the creation is sufficient to demonstrate a providence to an humble and grateful mind. Remember that it is not he who gives abuse or blows who affronts, but the view we take of these things is insulting. When therefore anyone provokes you, be assured that it is your own opinion which provokes you. Everything has two handles, the one by which it may be carried, the other by which it cannot. If your brother acts unjustly, don't lay hold on the action by the handle of his injustice, for by that it cannot be carried, but by the opposite, that he is your brother, that he was brought up with you, and thus you will lay hold on it as it is to be carried. Whatever you would make habitual, practice it, and if you would not make a thing habitual, do not practice it, but accustom yourself to something else. Reason is not measured by size or height, but by principle. Everything has two handles, one by which it may be borne, the other by which it may not. If your brother sin against you, lay not hold of it by the handle of his injustice, for by that it may not be borne, but rather by this, that he is your brother, the comrade of your youth, and thus you will lay hold on it so that it may be borne. Do not give sentence in another tribunal till you have been yourself judged in the tribunal of justice. Never call yourself a philosopher, nor talk a great deal among the unlearned about theorems, but act conformably to them. Thus, at an entertainment, don't talk how persons ought to eat, but eat as you ought. For remember that in this manner Socrates also universally avoided all ostentation. With every accident, ask yourself what abilities you have for making proper use of it. If you see an attractive person, you will find that self-restraint is the ability you have against your desire. If you are in pain, you will find fortitude. If you hear unpleasant language, you will find patience. And thus habituated, the appearances of things will not hurry you away along with them. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. It is unlikely that the good of a snail should reside in its shell, so is it likely that the good of a man should? When you close your doors and make darkness within, remember never to say that you are alone, for you are not alone. Nay, God is within, and your genius is within. And what need have they of light to see what you are doing? If someone turned your body over to just any person who happened to meet you, you would be angry. But are you not ashamed that you turn over your own faculty of judgment to whoever happens along, so that if he abuses you, it is upset and confused? When you have decided that a thing ought to be done and are doing it, never shun being seen doing it, even though the multitude should be likely to judge the matter amiss. For if you are not acting rightly, shun the act itself. If rightly, however, why fear misplaced censure? For death or pain is not formidable, but the fear of pain or death. If you have assumed a character beyond your strength, you have both played a poor figure in that and neglected one that is within your powers. If what philosophers say of the kinship of God and men be true, what remains for men to do but as Socrates did? Never, when asked one's country, to answer, "I am an Athenian or a Corinthian," but "I am a citizen of the world." Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary and in few words. We shall, however, when occasion demands, enter into discourse sparingly, avoiding such common topics as gladiators, horse races, athletes, and the perpetual talk about food and drink. Above all, avoid speaking of persons either in the way of praise or blame or comparison. If you can, win over the conversation of your company to what it should be by your own. But if you should find yourself cut off without escape among strangers and aliens, be silent. Practice yourself, for heaven's sake, in the little things, and thence proceed to greater. Men are disturbed not by things, but by the principles and notions which they form concerning things. A ship should not ride on a single anchor, nor life on a single hope. Were I a nightingale, I would act the part of a nightingale. Were I a swan, the part of a swan. Some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in a word, whatever are not our own actions. It is the act of an ill-instructed man to blame others for his own bad condition. It is the act of one who has begun to be instructed to lay the blame on himself, and of one whose instruction is completed, neither to blame another nor himself. These reasonings are unconnected. I am richer than you, therefore I am better. I am more eloquent than you, therefore I am better. The connection is rather this: I am richer than you, therefore my property is greater than yours. I am more eloquent than you, therefore my style is better than yours. But you, after all, are neither property nor style. It is difficulties that show what men are. No thing great is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen.